Hi, today is February 18th, 2023, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 287 for the year, How I Was a Good Guy. I can be a good guy and I can be a dick. Like yesterday, I was on my way to drop some stuff off downtown, and I'm on the Citibike, and I saw a guy on an electric bike in front of me drop something on Bleecker Street between Cornelia and Leroy. So I stopped and I yelled, and I finally got his attention, which by that time the guy is already almost at Carmine, but I can yell really fucking loud. And he turned around and I told him he dropped something, and I picked it up and I waved it over my head and I waited for him to come back, and then he took it. It actually looked like maybe it was part of his bike, so it was good that I stopped. But now it's not a mitzvah because I told you about it. But that's fine. It doesn't need to be a mitzvah. It needs to be something I told you about so that it can be balanced with how I was a dick. Poem number 288, How I Was a Dick. So here's how I was a dick. I was almost done with my trip back uptown after having dropped some stuff off downtown yesterday. I'm on West End at 77th, a block away from the docking station at 78th, where I'm going to dock my bike, and this big-ass vehicle is coming down 77th, and I wait for him because he isn't signaling to turn, so I figure he's going to pass in front of me, but of course he doesn't pass in front of me. He turns onto West End, which means I didn't have to wait for him. I could have just gone, and this pisses me off. I fucking hate it when people don't signal, so I try to catch up to him so I can tell him he should fucking signal. But he gets the light at 78th and I can't catch him. But then at 79th, the motherfucker makes a U-turn and then he stops up there like he's maybe going to park. So after I dock my bike, I stand there and I take a picture of the guy's car. And I'm thinking maybe he'll get a little rattled that someone is taking a picture of him after he made back-to-back traffic violations. I'm not going to report him because the cops would probably be dicks about me being a dick about this dick who doesn't know how to drive. But I can post the picture I took on Facebook and be like, can you believe this fucking piece of shit? And also, can you believe what a petty fucking dick I can be? Poem number 289, The Year of Trans. She wasn't trans, but she wanted to experience what it was like to be trans for a limited time. It took her quite a while to find a doctor that was even willing to entertain the notion of taking her on as a patient. The doctor asked her what gave her this idea, and she said that she had read the book Black Like Me, and she had read the National Lampoon parody Stacked Like Me, and she had seen the made-for-TV movie To Be Fat Like Me starring Kelly Cuoco, and that now she had decided that she wanted to be a part of the Like Me family. Soon after this exchange, the doctor decided that surgery and hormones were not advisable. Instead, the doctor encouraged her to go out into the world and present herself as trans male and then come back in a year. So she did that. For a year, she lived as a trans male, and she took notes. She found that it was difficult at times to tell whether she was being perceived as a trans male or just a male. That was okay. After a year, she looked through her notes, trying to determine whether she should write a book called Trans Like Me, but she decided not to. And she decided not to be really trans for a year. Poem number 290, The Year of Translucence. He wanted see-through skin, the kind of skin you can see through, like that slow dog in that Belly song. He wanted all of his blood and bones and internal organs to be exposed to everyone for maybe a year. This would be true nakedness, and for whatever reason, this is what he wanted. He considered getting a much better razor and spending all of his free time shaving, but he concluded that would take too long. A plane would be more efficient than a razor, but the idea made him shudder and wince, and any kind of knife was out of the question. He began to take time out of each day, closing his eyes and imagining that he could simply shed all of his epidermal layers except for the last one or two. He thought that he could see, and after much practice, he began to feel as if he was indeed translucent. He thought that he could see through his skin. He wasn't sure if anyone else could, but he thought that he could, and that was enough. He began to write a book called Translucent Like Me, but he never finished it. Poem number 291, The Year of the Transcontinental Railroad. It was May 10th, 1869, and a ceremonial final spike was driven into the rail line connecting the Union Pacific and the Central Pacific. This is my year, the railroad said. Wagon trains and stagecoaches will soon diminish in popularity as more and more people ride my rails. It starts here with this year, 1869. And the railroad, although rather hubristic, was right. And if it had ever occurred to the railroad to write a book called Transcontinental Like Me, then you can be sure that that would have happened. Poem number 292, Holding Me Back. You have no idea how much I want to, and I know that I can, but something, or maybe many things, are holding me back. Or maybe it is me holding myself back, almost as if I am holding my own arms behind my back, even though that's impossible. Almost as if I have pinned myself to the floor, even though that's impossible. Almost as if I have literally handcuffed myself and thrown away the key, which is not impossible, but I don't have a set of handcuffs. Something has been holding me back. But I've been held back before, and then let go. And if and when I am let go again, you'll be the first to know. And the last one, poem number 293, Letting Me Go. I was let go, and I let it go, and I let it blow, and I let it flow, and I let it grow, and I let it glow, and I said to it, oh, that's one hell of a show. And it said to me, yo, as above, so below. And as you well know, this was so long ago, and I thank you so for letting me go. And I thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it.